Campers. It's Monday, so let's do a reading for our masculines, for one of my beautiful collectives of Divine Masculines. What I want to do today with you is sort of in line with what's going on right now astrologically, right? So we had an eclipse yesterday. Tomorrow is 9th of the ninth, summing the numbers of the year. So it's an amazing event, a very powerful portal to really close cycles, to really finalize certain things that you've been working on, close that shit and release that to open a new cycle. So we're gonna tap into what is it that you need to close out? What is it that your guides, your higher self, like, it's time, brother, it's time. And then we're gonna tap into the energy of those 2 weeks that I've been talking about, those two after the eclipse, the weeks that are starting now, 2 weeks before the next eclipse, window of opportunity. What is it that your guides are wanting you to embody more, to focus on more, to do more, okay? That's what we're gonna do. But as always, let's start from how are you feeling right now to confirm that this is your collective. So we're going to be asking how you've been feeling around this eclipse. So like the last few days, like since Thursday throughout the weekend, this eclipse really been pulling on our energy, and we're reacting differently because it depends where we are on the journey. It depends what we need to work on, right? So how you've been feeling in the last days of this eclipse. Rest. That's really nice. That's really nice. Maybe you had some days off. Maybe you decided to rest throughout the weekend. Maybe you decided not to do much, but really focus on physically. I'm hearing physical rest. What else? Faith. That's good. That's good. It's like you've been feeling, I'm hearing that you've been feeling the magic. I'm seeing the magic card as well. It's like you have faith. So maybe in the past cycles, you've been stuck in this conditioning and this outdated thinking that it's never going to happen, that this is not for you, that happiness for you, that, you know, you're feminine, she's never going to take you back. Now it's like you're in your faith. So maybe this eclipse already removed that limiting belief. Maybe... let's see, let's do 2 more and then we're going to do another row either way. Hold on. You guys, it's been 10 minutes. It went behind, this card went behind my radiator, okay? And I couldn't get it out. And you know what it is? Mystery. Sign, total sign. I started thinking and hearing that maybe... there's faith and there's mystery. I want to do one more, but I started thinking that it's like maybe it's been a long time since you haven't communicated to your divine feminine. I'm hearing also that maybe there's been a period where you've given up on that. It happens with the masculines. Obviously, it's a conscious giving up. Your soul always pushes you to work through karma, work through experiences, through tower moments that will get you back home. But sometimes the masculines have that period. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Some of you even, you know, you stop watching us, you stop following us. It's like you just give up. There's so zero faith within you that it's actually for you through the lack mentality because of the avoidance for a time there. It is like you lose that faith, right? So maybe you've been consciously so disconnected for a while from your feminine that now as you're starting to shift, you're regaining that faith. You're starting to think, what was going on in all this period? We haven't spoken for a while. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. It falls into the energy that we did for Masculine Monday. So the oracle card that I pulled earlier today, peace and growth at the bottom of the deck. So check that out. Check that oracle. Do it scared. I have it here still. Maybe it will come through as we'll tap into your energy. But what I'm getting with this, so we have rest, faith, mystery, and peace. You will be feeling actually quite good when it comes to this eclipse, which is a good thing, because if there's a lot of shadows, if there's a lot of things to work through, then they come out in these seasons. The more work we've done, even if it's subconscious, unknowingly going through karma. So I would assume that you're not new at this journey, right? You would be most of my collective of masculines, because in the beginning of this journey you wouldn't be watching readings, you wouldn't be looking for advice or anything like that. But I feel that you've spent the last days resting. You really felt this wave of faith. And overall, you are at peace. Peace and faith, they're two beautiful emotions. So you would have that inner feeling that, you know what, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. It's just that you really don't know what to do now, or what's going to happen now. Maybe because you've been so disconnected. Us feminines, we're consciously on this journey, right? So we're progressing, especially farther along the way. We focus on our growth. We focus on our healing. We focus on connecting to you but detaching from you. We focus on our expansion. So it's like we have a plan. Yes, we have to surrender. We don't know what's going to happen, the how and the when, but we're constantly connected to the journey of divine love, to the journey of spirituality, right? And I feel like because you've been disconnected a little bit from this journey and you've lost that faith in the past, right now it's like, what do I do with all this, with this newly gained faith? Let's do another row. Rest. This is your main energy, and I'm liking it. I don't have to say don't make this fit, because masculines, you usually don't. It's the quality of our feminines in the beginning of the journey. All right. Stop. That's on top of that rest. So I feel like maybe you are someone, I'm hearing distractions. Maybe one of your shadows in the past would be distractions, that you would never actually stay home to clean, to cook, to take a nice bath or a shower, to go for a walk, to do workouts, to peacefully pick up groceries, that you would always be like boom, boom, boom. Distraction not to think about things that are on your mind, right? It's a quality of distorted masculines, that they cannot even sit down for half an hour without doing anything, because then you're left with your thoughts, then you're left with your energy. So maybe this is one of the first weekends that you really you were like, stop, no to any invitation, no to any, it's like just me, illumination at the bottom of the deck, just me, just stop, I want to pause, right? And it would make sense, because the eclipses, it is that time when time stops, when we really want to stop to contemplate, especially when we're ready for certain changes and certain shifts. Faith, we have the Ghost. You would be thinking about moments when you ghosted. You would be thinking about moments when you disappeared. And you know what? I'm also hearing a ghost when it comes to this journey. Remember what I said? That maybe you had moments when you actually retreated from the journey, when you actually lost faith. Maybe you're even thinking that you lost faith and she kept the faith all the time. Maybe you know that you're feminine. Maybe she has been upfront about this on her social media, or I'm hearing blogs. So maybe some of the feminines, they have like a private social media, not in a sense of, which is a good thing. I always say this to my feminists, that they should sort of separate your mission that you get downloads about, what is here, that your gifts that you're meant to give to others, and separate for like your private things, because you know it's a different thing. So maybe you're thinking about that. But I was also with that ghost, I was also hearing the fact that it's on top of faith. It's like you would have faith that she has forgiven you. That's what I was hearing. So maybe in your connection, you've done that many times. Maybe this was your dynamics, that you will come back and then literally you would disappear without a word, a text. It happens for a lot of pairings and a lot of masculines. It's an incredibly painful experience for us feminines, because sometimes it really goes 0 to 100 and to a 0. So it's like you come out of nowhere. I've changed. I need to see you. I've been missing you. And sometimes we don't even get to meet. And then boom, next day you're gone. You're not responding messages. So maybe this was your dynamics. And maybe this was one of the things. Again, we go through this journey differently, right? We teach each other different things. Usually I find that this happens a lot with feminists who really have very strong anxiety and very strong father wound and worthiness, because this crashes us. This crashes us, right? We are in anxiety. We want you. We long for you. We want this. We have zero self-esteem, tremendous father wound, usually experienced with ex-partners who would undermine our anything, just lower our self-esteem, make us feel like this. And then the man, the love of all our lifetimes, just cannot even hold this energy for a few days. So it usually crushes us, but it's needed to actually heal these wounds, to heal the anxiety, to heal the father wound, to grow into I am worthy no matter what happens. But I feel like you would be thinking about this, and I feel like you have faith. Maybe she is somehow present on social media and she talks about her journey, so maybe you would know that she is okay right now. Maybe she's even been talking about this. I'm hearing the confidence at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you would both be in a moment of quite of a confidence. I'm hearing that you would have faith that she's forgiven, that she's, I'm hearing smart enough to understand, wise enough, compassionate enough to understand that it wasn't malicious. It's never malicious. It's your armor. You cannot, it's not like you want to hurt us. It's not like you planned this. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to write to her and then the next day I'm going to ghost her to like really cause her pain. You actually act on an impulse. You actually want to see us. You make promises that you want to actually follow through, but then the next day or in a few days the anxiety comes in, the fear comes in, the fear of commitment, all the past trauma that you don't know how to deal with, and you just disappear. A loved one to come through. Mystery, sadness. It's okay. It's your second row. I want to do one more and then we'll see the whole spread. Rejection. I kind of want one more for that. We have success at the bottom of the deck. Movement. Okay, I got it. Love. We have love. It wanted to come through. So this is what I'm hearing. Overall, your energy is really good, right? So your first row, you decided to rest, you're slowing down, you're in a place of more peace. Masculines, you're living a chaos. You live in a toxic chaos for years. So you would be finding yourself in a place of peace, resting. So it means that you would have done quite a lot of self-work, knowingly or unknowingly, right? Again, for you, us, we are a motivation, but it's very subconscious. So we, in the beginning, we change for you because we find out that we're on this journey. We're starting to learn about this journey. It's like, if I'm going to heal, then he's going to come back. So we do it for you. And then it switches. We start to do it for ourselves, for our beautiful transformation, for our mission. Whereas the masculines, your soul always pulls towards ours because we're one consciousness, one chakra system, right? We're soul split into two. But consciously, you're not thinking about it. You're just moving forth, right? Sort of you're being pushed to go through certain lessons and through certain healing, right? More for yourself. It's sort of a reverse. In the beginning, you start doing it for yourself. It's like we show you a little bit of a better ways of doing things and ways of living, and you do it like, I want a better life, and you do it for yourself, and then it switches and you start to do it to return to us. So you would have done a lot of work to be right now in a moment. I'm resting, I'm at peace, I have faith, right, in this journey. I feel like this mystery is causing a little bit of sadness. So overall you would be very positive, very okay. But whenever you think, how do I do this? How do I proceed? How... Maybe you've even heard, if you watch me or another reader or a twin flame, sort of a spiritual teacher, you've heard us say, that, you know, it's the masculine who decides the how and the when we get into union. So maybe you've been thinking, and it's been causing a little bit of like sadness and nostalgia, maybe a little bit more, like how I don't know what's gonna happen. So how am I supposed to? It's this dude. It's scared. It's this fear. It's this fear of how she's gonna react, how it's gonna look like, how I'm gonna make this work. Am I ready for this? But with this movement, I feel like you do want forward movement. You do want forward movement. So you would start to have these like bursts of like, I'm thinking that you're going back to the ghost thing, right? So maybe you are having these these impulses, these moments of passion, like I want to reach out, like maybe you even grab your phone every now and then. Maybe you have, I'm seeing the notes, so either your journal or you have that notes application. What am I going to say to her? Like things that you really, how I want that first message to really be like full of love and hope and like bomb, so she knows, so she knows how I feel without that being an essay for 5 pages, you know what I mean? But you would still fear rejection. You would still fear, what if she's not going to respond? What if she's moved on? What if she thinks that it's just going to... I feel like if you're at peace at some level, it means that she's very much at peace. So maybe it's been a while since you had communication, and now you're thinking, okay, I want to do this, but if I don't follow through with this and we go back to this, I'm going to disrupt our peace. So I'm going to tell you this, 2 things. First of all, if she is really in her divine feminine, truly, if she's ready, she's healed, you're not going to disrupt her peace, even if you come in and come out. I talk about this all the time in my readings for my feminines. When we are in our feminine state, when you come through, I've done a message about this a couple of days ago, like how do we know that the masculine is ready? And I've mentioned there that obviously it causes a little bit of emotions naturally. We're still humans, right? But we're in a place of such love and such compassion and trust in our journey and towards you, that even if you disappear, we're like, well, it means that it wasn't time. He's gonna come back. And if that actually happens, you will return quite soon, because when we can hold this energy, it helps you to grow immensely. So if you feel the need and you really feel the push, maybe it's divine guidance to recalibrate as well, right? But the second thing that I was hearing is that faith, that you have to trust in yourself. You have to trust in yourself. Maybe there's a lot of fire energy within you. You know how I always talk about, hold on. I had to close my window because I feel like it was a lot of background noise. Do you know how I always say about the journey of the King of Wands, right? That if you are one of those masculines, that you're very fiery, you're very passionate, right? And you always return on impulse. And then you do this because you were thinking about this, because you wanted to see us. And then the armor comes up and you ghost. Further along the way, you fear that you're going to do the same, but you've grown. You're not the same person. And if you want to prove it to yourself, think about the last time, okay, an exercise. Think about the last time you reached out to your feminine on an impulse and you spoke to her and you proposed a meeting, or you even saw each other, whatever that is. And then go back to those times and think about, how was your day looking like? How was your mood looking like? Were you resting? Were you at peace? Were you taking care of yourself? Were you in moments of faith? No, because you're a completely different person. You've changed completely. That man is gone. You outgrew him. You were a Page of Wands, maybe a Knight of Wands. Now, we're going to tap into your energy, but I am seeing King of Wands. This energy is beautiful energy. So you grew. You're not going to do the same thing. And the thing is, on this journey, and I always say this to you guys, we never kill off our shadows. We never completely remove our shadows. We just make friends with our shadows. We bring them into the conscious mind, into our self-awareness. So as you reach out to her and you start talking, The fact that you are healed, it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel anxiety. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have moments that you're going to feel like doing this, but it only means that you are now, if you're ready, we're going to tap into your overall energy in a moment. It only means that you are ready to take accountability and maturity and think to yourself, okay, it's coming forth. I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this? What is causing this within me? What am I really fearful and scared? And it also gives you maturity to communicate to your feminine honestly and say, I need a couple of days. Don't just disappear. But it's like, it's been really intense, this return, the talking to you. I need a couple of days. And if she's truly ready again, she'll be absolutely okay with that. I feel like you need to have a little bit more faith in yourself. In yourself. All right. Let's tap into your overall energy, right? Because this was like sort of an emotion of eclipse. So let's ask where you are energetically, how it's looking like, and then we go into what you need to release. How is this masculine? What's his... Okay, we have Knight of Wands. I was feeling this energy for you. You would be very, confirmation, you would be very passionate person, very, I'm loving this energy. It needs to mature. We're going to see what comes next. Do we have more maturity, or is it because Knight is not what we want to see? I feel this is more that your energy of now, that you want to reach out to her. So you would feel maybe even, dream about her, and you wake up like in the middle of the night or in the morning, like feeling like, I wish she was here. Do you know what I mean? I'm hearing that the fire that you have consciously buried, it's getting reignited. Maybe you don't really understand why. Do you know what I mean? Remember how, hold on. With all these notifications. Remember what we said, that it was so painful for you that you would have had a moment in your journey that you really wanted to forget about her, not to think about her, because you didn't have the belief that you could ever be together. And I feel that with that, you also buried the passion, right? Maybe it was too confirmation. Maybe it was too painful to dream about her, to think about her. And maybe in recent cycles, seasons, I'm hearing months, slowly, it's been building. You started to, they're correcting me. It may vary for some of you. For some of you, it may be that it started building up in like past months, but for some of you, it literally may be days, like September, I'm hearing. That you really started vividly. You know how in the beginning of this journey, when we're still in like in and out or beginning of separation, we literally, like, you smell your person, her perfume, the scent of her body. Same happens for the feminines, for the masculines. It's like you feel it's like more vivid. The remembrance of those intimate moments, it's more vivid. But then obviously you go into separation, you spend, like, we never forget each other's energy. It's always very vivid, but a little bit less vivid, obviously, because we haven't seen each other for years. Especially the feminines, because we don't even, follow you on social media, see your photos and so on and so forth, and you usually have access to more updated information. But I'm hearing that in the recent times, that Knight of Wands came forth. Yeah, you're really feeling, and that would be a test for you, because remember what we said in the past, you would act on an impulse. So now it's for you to really think through. Has this Knight of Wands matured? Let's do your first row. The Emperor! Yes! The Emperor! The Emperor. Your current energy. You're the Emperor. He's the divine masculine. You're doubting yourself. This is your current energy, in the sense of that you want to come forth. And I feel... Listen, we're very different on this journey. Masculines are different, right? So some of the masculines, they come forth because it's more on an emotion, right? More on that Knight of Cups right? Some, they want to come forth more of a Knight of like swords, like abruptly, like to say something, to, right? I feel like your thing was the passion. Maybe your second waivers, the intimacy is very intense for the second waivers. Like it's literally impossible for you to be with your person for like 5 minutes in the same room and not like throw one at each other. Do you know what I mean? But you're the Emperor. You grew. You need to take a step back and really appreciate it. Do that exercise that I said to you. Last time you communicated, or even go back when you were in and out. And when you were coming back like this, how was your life looking like? Really appreciate your growth, your change. Let's do 2 more for your first row. Knight of Pentacles. That's really nice. That shows that peace. I want 1 more. And we have 2 Knights and the Emperor, which means that you would really be in this energy that you want to move forward. Because the Knight represents the forward movement, the progression, the coming in, right? So you would really want to move forward. Let's do 1 more. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. All right. I am overall liking this energy for you. Okay, we have the Sun at the bottom of the deck, masculine energy, divine masculine. You are in this Emperor energy. Okay, you are in this Emperor energy. You would be a very passionate person, someone who in the past would act on an impulse. I feel like I'm going to repeat this, although I talk about this all the time. The journey of the Knight of Wands. You are the masculines. You don't necessarily always understand that there's nothing wrong in passion, right? Because in the beginning you're wounded. I talk about this again all the time, so maybe you've heard me say this. You don't see the difference between lust and passion. You associate love and passion with toxicity, right? But passion is actually a very pure feeling. It's the setting, how we express this passion. So the fact that you're very passionate, that you're one of these men that you just like to just grab her in the middle of a street and just like kiss her and just like shove her through the wall, you know, like really, like I feel like that passion, especially in intimacy, that you are very passionate, right? But because maybe that passion was mixed with frustration, aggression, trauma in the past, you started associating with something bad. Maybe it's even side of you that you're right now not necessarily liking. And it's similarly, I always say this to you guys, it's similarly with love. Right? When you have very bad experience with love, you start to fear love and associate love with something negative. But it's not love. It's the people that you've chosen to try to experience that love with. Do you know what I mean? So that quality of yours, that passion, that ignition, that really being that, it's a beautiful thing. If you tame all your shadows, if you integrate and heal all your shadows, that passion is something that will make you a great leader, a great partner, that always, you know, that you're never bored with this person because they always are just so excited and passionate about everything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Don't doubt that this quality isn't beautiful. Okay, if you can raise it to the level of the king. So passion, ignition, but then you have to take that masculinity, that emperor, and follow through with plans. Because passion, I always say this to you guys, it's not enough. Passion is never enough. After that passion, after that ignition, you also have to have dedication, consistency, commitment, all the masculine qualities. But we have the emperor. We're going to clarify, but your first row is beautiful, your overall energy, and you have the Knight of Pentacles. So you now understand that it's not just the passion, but it's also, this is grounding energy. And this is what our masculines need to do, right? Us feminines, we sort of